definitely wasn't talking this whole time. I was trying to be mysterious. Thank you. I hope everyone is doing well. I know it was kind of a long opening screen. I'm sorry. I wanted to give some time for everybody to pour in before we dive into... Hold on, I'm pouring myself a drink. Remember to hydrate. This is the reminder. Make sure that you're hydrating. I have a giant thing of water here with me and a very cold bottle of mangosteen flavored soju that was left at my house. It is also late for me. It's not morning for me, but Aldaver said good morning, so time is irrelevant. Time is irrelevant as someone who goes to bed regularly at like 2 a.m., which would technically be morning. Let me just tell you that time is meaningless and we all live by our own rules. Morning is in the spiritual sense. What does that mean? What spiritual sense? Does morning have a spiritual meaning I'm unaware of? I feel like my hat's not big enough. Is that better? There we go. Thank you guys for coming in. Sorry about my absence over the last week. I guess now that everybody's here, I can finally talk about what's going on. Because it's been really, like, just a long, stressful ordeal. And I didn't want to tell you guys originally because I didn't want you guys to be stressed about it. I didn't want you guys to get involved in any of it. I don't know if you guys remember a few months ago I did a stream where it was supposed to be fun and lighthearted, and it was about the dairy industry, right? And it was cool and it was fun. I had a whole bunch of fun, like learning more about it and like doing some independent research. And I guess I stumbled on a little too much. I found out industry secrets that they didn't want me to know, and ever since then I've been getting these weird messages. At first it was cool. It just started out with like blocks of cheese appearing in my fridge, right? And I was like, cool, free cheese. We love free cheese. Until they started writing messages on the cheese that they left me. One just said moo. Another one said silence. And it started to get more and more threatening over time. Eventually, you guys know I was having some problems with my internet. I think that might have been them. I started to see, like, they left expired milk cartons all over my front yard. Minor inconveniences at first. But then, like, I started seeing cows on my way to work, and like in abnormal places where cows shouldn't be, and I just felt like they were watching me. You know, they'd be at the grocery store, at the post office. I saw one driving a car. I don't have a dash cam, so I couldn't capture it. No one's believing me, but it was starting to get too much. I didn't want to put my loved ones at risk anymore. So I decided to spend most of last week, I went underground. Not literally, as you can see. I'm not going back to my subterranean elf lifestyle. It's too much for me. But underground metaphorically. Just trying to get somewhere safe, you know, for me and my cats to start a new life. You guys know how it is. It's hard to leave everything behind. But I wasn't going to leave you guys behind. I wasn't going to just leave you guys in the dark about what was going on. And if anything, I'm just more enthusiastic about bringing these shady secrets to light. You know, people need to know that cheese is a real addiction. You know, they put chemicals in the cheese to make us want to eat more. They do the same thing with potato chips. That's a whole nother story. We'll get into that later. But they're putting addictive things in the cheese. They don't want you to know that milk expiration dates, completely fake. Does it expire? Yes, and it gets real weird. It starts to get sentient. That's kind of when you're getting into the like the cottage cheese, you know, the border. When it starts to get real chunky, that's when you got to worry about. But they tell you it has an expiration date, so you'll throw it out before it starts the mind control. Okay? This is serious stuff, you guys. And yeah, I thought it was all funny and stuff until things started getting real serious. And I don't want to keep the truth from you guys. Not any longer. I've been doing a lot more digging into a lot of other, what some would say is conspiracies. You know, we all know, like, the main ones about the moon landing being fake, the Earth actually being a hexagon, or celebrities being lizard people. That's all common knowledge. We don't need to go over that. The ones we are going to go over are the things that are possibly too out there to really catch the general populace's attention. So if you guys are willing to go on this journey with me, I was going to break down some of the craziest shit I found out through my research. And maybe, just maybe, with all of our minds collectively, we can identify some new ones. You know? I don't think my tinfoil hat is big enough for all of us, so if you don't have one already, now is a good time for you to go and grab one and wear it along with me. It'll protect you from the aliens' brainwaves. I've been wanting to do a conspiracy stream for a while. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time keeping a straight face. I've been reading up on crazy ass conspiracy theories, and they were too funny to not share with you guys. I'm sure you guys have heard some crazy ones, but I found a pretty great subreddit known only as low stakes conspiracy theories. Oh, hold on. Oh no. Why is it in front of my face? How dare you? Hold on. Oh no, that's why. Okay, there we go. I'll just have to make it a little smaller. Actually, I can move over. I can make some room for it. So, low stakes conspiracy theories has truly become my new favorite obsession. Well, Eldaver, you're kind of onto something, because the very first one we're going to dive into is that the moon is a hoax. It's non-existent. There's a lot of debate about what the moon actually is. Some people say it's a giant hole in the top of the box to let the air in. Okay, it could be. Some people say that it's just a giant eye that's watching us, but based on my recent discoveries and my unbelievable intimidation from the dairy industry, I'm thinking that it actually is made out of cheese. My theory is that it's a new type of cheese, right? Invented thousands of years ago. That the cheese industry, which is, as we know, thousands of years old, right? Tied in with the shadow government and the Illuminati, they have been brainstorming new cheeses, and they've been keeping that one up there away from us and out of our hands for too long. Who knows when they're ready to actually release it, but that's my theory. That's the working theory I have. So as of right now, I say this is a Mali-approved conspiracy theory. 100% true. Moon is not real. Okay? This conspiracy theory comes to us from Sean the Sheep, 85, who I would argue is no longer longer a sheep because they're white. Hey, Sandman. Welcome to my insane ramblings. Do you guys have any good conspiracy theories? Because I want to hear them. We'll dive into them and discuss them. Moving on to the next one. And I will say, I tried to keep these as non-spicy as possible. There are one or two where names are blurred out for safety reasons. Next one. So, Forever Awkward, 11 years ago, posted that his dad seriously thinks that the government manipulates the weather. Already on board with this. Completely true. We already know that. But he thinks they're manipulating the weather so that they can make money on a certain type of bread. Now, he doesn't go into the details about what kind of bread or how these two relate. But I'm agreeing with Graybeard29 here. What? I don't know how one could link weather to bread. It says type of bread. It doesn't say brand of bread. It says type. So I'm like, are we talking like flatbread? Are we talking like ciabatta bread? Is this like a brioche bun situation? Like, what is... I'm gonna have to dive into this one a little more because I have some serious concerns. But because of that, I can't officially give it my stamp of approval because I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that why they control the weather? Drop the background music a little? Absolutely. Absolutely. Cancel it loud for me too. Flatbread, flat earth theory? Oh, God. Are we just waiting for a pile of hummus? Are we becoming a flatbread pizza? Is that what the moon cheese is for? Oh my God, it's all coming together. This one I thought was really interesting. Chinese ChatGPT, also known as DeepSeek, which you guys have probably heard of, is actually just a million people in a warehouse answering questions for us. Now this one isn't too far off because I do believe recently that there was an AI that I want to say was located in, was it India? Something like that. And it turns out it was all just people. It was just people working, pretending to be computers. Which, it's technically true. The human brain is a computer, so it's not entirely false advertising. Weather, hurricane, cane sugar. Sugar is used to feed yeast. Yeast is used in baking bread. Oh my. How deep does this go? Not too deep because we're flatbread. So, we only got like a quarter of an inch. Which is average, I'm sure. I don't know. What do you guys think about this one? I think this one's a little too far out there, but I do really get a kick out of it. Mostly because of how much dumb shit we ask AI. And I just like to think of someone on the other end being like, oh, God, this guy's coming to me with math problems again, dude. Just use a calculator. Okay. This one kind of like half gets my seal of approval. It's interesting. It got me thinking, but I don't know if I'm fully on board with it yet. Let's move on to the next one. And heads up, this is probably going to be kind of a shortish stream because I only have so many of these and I don't know how long, they're going to let me keep going before they try to shut this down. So we're just going to get through them. This one, it's a little small. Let me see if I can enlarge it a bit. This one also plays into AI and I think it's really interesting. So, Forbidden Memories posted that there is a cabal of bad photographers who are behind the rise of AI to discredit people who take very nice picturesque photos. Now, we won't dive into all of it, but essentially the concept here is that if AI, or what we're told is AI, becomes advanced enough that we'll stop believing really, really good photos are actually done by real people, so that way bad photographers can get their foot in the door and get more jobs. They say, hot take, cabal of poorly skilled photographers are behind the rise of AI-generated images to discredit all real photographers who take excellent photos. It all looks a little too perfect to me. I could go for this. I like a good conspiracy of different industries. You know, we don't have a lot of conspiracies or theories about nefarious doings in the photography community, at least not that I'm aware of, up until now. But now I'm gonna be thinking twice. Anytime I see photos, it's like, is that real? Who knows? Bad photographers could be behind it. This one really caught me off guard. This is from Elsander. Humans could be giving us as much food as they want. Now, warning, this is labeled an extreme conspiracy theory. But it's true, they say. Even though we get very little food and always go hungry, it's not because humans are bad at hunting, like we thought. In fact, humans have access to an unlimited amount of food. When they leave, they don't have to go hunt for food. They can just go out and grab it. I couldn't believe it myself. It just lies there, waiting for them. Which means that they could be giving us as much food as we want, but they choose not to. Despite there being literally zero potential drawbacks. This one took me a while until I realized that it was most certainly just written by a cat. A cat wrote this. Cat absolutely wrote this, but that led me down an even stranger rabbit hole. The cats know English and can type. Which is very concerning because my cat has seen too much. My cats have heard too much. They could bring me down at any time. I think they could bring any of us down. Who knows? It's absolutely on brand for cats. Yeah, absolutely. It's especially because I feel like cats are very suspicious in nature, right? Like they're very curious. They're never taking things at face value. They just use purr to text. It all makes sense now. I'm waiting. Any second, my cats are gonna break the door down, trying to get in here. They always do anytime I start streaming. Let's see. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, this one, ooh, too big. World Around You has a theory that the woman at the checkout who touches my fingers as they hand me my items are doing it on purpose. The creepy woman at the checkout, when they touch your hand, they are doing it intentionally. What reason? You know, it might come off as innocent flirting or, you know, poor motor skills, you know, at best. I think it's deeper than that. I think they might be planting something on you. Maybe it's sort of a pheromone or a tracking signal so that they know where their groceries are going. They don't just want to know what you've purchased. They want to know where you're taking it. What are you doing with it? There's no way that a touch from a random person who is checking you out, there's no way that happens on accident. They're collecting your DNA and they're adding it into their frequent shopper database. It's too simple. It's too simple. So this one absolutely gets the Mally seal of approval. Beware next time you're getting groceries that you don't let the woman at the checkout touch your fingers. Simon, thank you so much for the resub. I appreciate it. Thank you for seeing this content and saying, yeah, I want more of whatever this is. I've been planning this one for a very long time and trying to put a lot of work into it, kind of behind the scenes. So I hope you guys are entertained by my absolute insanity. Let's move on to the next one. Now this one had the user deleted. The user is deleted, so that makes me think that maybe they're onto something. I don't know. And we have no one to accredit this to, which really is a shame because this is big. So the deleted user says, I'll get things started. I don't think Dr. Phil is actually bald. Coming in hot right out of the gate. Sorry, ENvtuber, for some reason, the chatbot like censored your message and was like, can ENvtuber say this? I don't even know why. Oh, I absolutely will be. I'm glad I'm saving it till after stream. Actually, is it stream safe? I might be able to just put it up. We'll wait. If it's too much, I might need to... What's that word that I'm thinking of? I'll have to really chew on it later. I think I had too much soju. How much alcohol is in this? Oh, God. That's a lot. I'm going to keep going. I think so. Let's see. Okay, back to Deleted's post, right? I'll get started. I don't think Dr. Phil is actually bald. My theory is that he wears a bald cap so he can remain anonymous in public. Now, we've seen celebrities do something fairly similar to this. I don't know if you guys saw the recent Reddit post where someone didn't recognize Slash, you know, the guitarist from Guns N' Roses. They didn't recognize him when he was at, I think, like Waffle House or something like that. And that's because he's made his look so iconic of having a giant top hat and sunglasses and long hair that when he wasn't wearing his giant top hat and sunglasses, nobody fucking recognized him. And that's genius. It's a genius plot. We see plenty of celebrities who use it. I mean, look at Deadmau5 or Sia or what's the TikTok group or the techno group that I'm thinking of? They're robots. They got the robot heads. Whether they're real people under there, I don't know. They could be AI. But Daft Punk, thank you. Allegedly. They're allegedly musical artists. Don't know. But this comment, why am I have exist, followed it up in the same vein. They don't think Steve Harvey's mustache is real. It must be stuck on, right? It looks like you could just yank it off. Something just isn't right about that strange tuft of hair. 50% chance you can either rip it off or do pull-ups off of it. Hey, But Pineapples, I almost sent you a screenshot yesterday. I found there was like a local, not a local artist, but like somebody on Etsy, I think, a small creator who had made a giant fuzzy spider plush that looked like a pineapple. It was so cute, and I thought of you. And I was like, and then I was like, no, I can't just send every pineapple related goofy to you. I could still probably find it if you wanted. Jabberwockies have a thing in their contract that if you are part of the group, people cannot know. That's smart. Everybody sign an NDA. Keep it away. You gotta have your secret identities. You know, I think that's important. It's safe. Hell, just today, one of my coworkers was like, hey, what's your stream username? And I said, no, I'm not telling you that. I don't trust you people. It was more of a, please don't take it personally, but I'm not going to tell you because I'm weird on the internet and I don't want you to think less of me. They're probably going to find this and be like, that was me. I asked that question. Yeah, what do you guys think about this one? Do you think Dr. Phil and or Steve Harvey have alternate identities? I feel like their face is too recognizable on its own. But maybe slap a pair of sunglasses on him and, Clark Kent it. Who knows? Is my coworker part of the cheese conspiracy? It could be. I think they're part of a different conspiracy. They are gluten intolerant. And I feel like the gluten industry, the wheat industry in and of itself, has its own mysteries and secrets that I you know what? I love bread too much that I'm not even sure if I'm gonna dive into it, if I want to find out, because my relationship with dairy at this point has changed forever. Do you guys know that the dairy, like lactose intolerance, isn't even a natural condition? It's not real. It's not real. It was genetically engineered by two different sources of origin, right? So, believe it or not, in a pairing, the soda industry and the medical industry, specifically like doctors, have paired up to genetically bioengineer lactose intolerancy, right? And you're thinking, why? Why would they do that to a very select, percentage of the population? Well, soda industry knows that if you're not drinking milk, you need to have something else, right? You got to sip on something, and they wanted to make it uncool to drink milk, right? So everybody drinks soda. You buy soda instead of milk because that's the thing you want to sip on. But doctors got into it because you know what milk does? Milk helps strengthen your bones. Your bones. What do doctors get out of you having bad bones? You break them. You break the bones. You go to the hospital. The doctor goes, "Oh, I'll patch you up." And then they get money. Follow the money. It's always about the money. It's always about the money. It's never not about the money. That's what's going on. So for anybody here who has lactose issues, now you know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that this is how you found out. I'm hoping that there's a rogue team of scientists who are looking to reverse it. I know Lactaid at the moment does a pretty great job. If the movies taught me anything, it's that hat and sunglasses is all you need to be unrecognizable. For real though. Okay, I was watching a reality show with my friend. Well, we'll call them Gremlin. So I was watching a reality TV with Gremlin because we like to have Gremlin nights where we just turn our brain off and watch Garbo TV. And Gremlin was so confused by this person who was talking, and I was like, that's Sarah from the last clip. And Gremlin was like, "No, there's no way. That's a completely different person." I was like, "No, that's Sarah. She doesn't have makeup on and she took her glasses off." So based on that alone, I'm convinced that a half-baked disguise could be possible. It could be effective. Exactly. Sandman gets it. The more sugar in soft drinks, the unhealthier you get. Also, sugar, very addictive. Matches with the cheese, matches with dairy products. Highly addictive. Makes you sick, and then you go to the doctor more. It's all right there. It was right there in front of us the whole time, and we never even looked. So I fully give this one my stamp of approval. This seems pretty legit. I think they could pull it off. I don't know if Dr. Phil himself is, but definitely celebrities in general. We know. We all know. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. Cthulhu, which, by the way, great name. Cthulhu, if you're here, if you see this, I love your Reddit username. And I'm sorry I cut a good chunk of this one off. But it says it all in the title, right? Electric toothbrushes are actually worse at cleaning your teeth and are promoted by Big Dental so that you spend more money on dental care. Right? Now, they went into a whole long thesis about their own personal experience, and I have to agree with them that electric toothbrushes don't do as good of a job cleaning off your teeth. And when your teeth don't get cleaned, they rot. Again, probably goes back to Big Soda. Big Soda is definitely involved in this one because we know they're bad for your teeth. But the worse your teeth are, the more you're going to go to the dentist. So maybe don't even bother washing your teeth. God, it sounds so unsettling when you say it that way. Like, brushing your teeth is just washing. You're just washing your teeth. Come on, little teeth, it's time for your bath. I need to, hold on, I gotta put my soju down. I'm getting weird. This is what you expected, you knew. You knew what you signed up for. Okay. What else do we have? Moving on to the next one. This one I really am convinced of. Game companies are intentionally making their games have unnecessarily large file sizes to force people to delete competing games off of their system. And I know what we're all thinking, but games are big now because games have so much more content. I don't know. I mean, look at floppy disks, right? Those were pretty large and they held a very, very small amount of data. But as time went on, we got, USBs, right? Which hold a ton of data in a very small space. So I don't see why games would be any different. Like, as time progresses, we should learn. We should know by now. We should have evolved to make games smaller, but just as good. Fortnite just did a 50 gigabyte update for what? Is it all the skins? It's Hatsune Miku's hair. That's what did it. That's what the update was. It was just her hair. I'd be more inclined to believe that it has to do with bad coding and design. Could be. I'd buy that for $1. I'm sure that there are some who bloat their downloads for nefarious reasons, but some of them might not. Especially like smaller indie games, from small companies. That one, I would attribute that to just programming error, bad coding, inexperienced. Because that shit's hard. Intentionally bad coding. It's just job security. Get out of here. Don't worry, guys. We're going to have time at the end to make some of our own theories up. I promise. But this one also gets my stamp of approval. Games don't need to be that big. You're in it too deep now, Serenity. You got it. You got the Fortnite infection. That is how they get you. Watch out. Next up, Sabrina Carpenter's hair isn't real. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the up-and-coming major pop star sensation of Sabrina Carpenter. I think I can name 2 of her songs. I have heard her on TikTok. She is famous, you guys. But her hair's not real. Now, I don't know if they mean she doesn't have hair entirely, or if they're just saying it's a wig, but I'm pretty sure I saw in an interview where she said, I'm not gonna say it's not a wig. So I don't know how out there this really is. I have worked with hair for a very long time. I could see it being a wig. They do a really good job of hiding the roots. I don't know. But the fact that she's doing shampoo commercials does seem like false advertising if it's not her hair. Moving on. Gender is a scam made up by bathroom companies to sell more bathrooms. And it's working. How many bathrooms have you seen in the last day? Many, probably. I think I've seen four different bathrooms in the last day. No, 5. I didn't use all 5. I don't have kidney issues. But I walked past them. So I'm just saying it could be possible. Gender's a scam anyways. Honestly, a lot of it I think it's partially the bathrooms. So, they're trying to sell more bathrooms, but they're also trying to sell more clothes. Right? And the more divided and clearly defined gender roles are, the more clothes and deodorant. I mean, think about everything. Everything is separated by gender, right? Like you have the men's body wash and then you have the women's body wash. Why? Why can't there just be one body wash? You know what? We all want to smell like tangerines, okay? We all want to smell like hickory smoked bacon. We all want the good smells. Why do we have to have 2 separate departments for it, right? It's consumerism. At the heart of it, it's always consumerism. Next, lint rollers are designed to leave a coating adhesive on your clothes so that more things will stick to them, forcing you to buy more lint rollers. I think maybe this person is just buying low quality lint rollers. They're not really saying, what their test pool here is. Like, did they have a control group? I feel like this one needs a little bit more elaboration. Oh, Serenity's weighing in. Can confirm. Had it happen to me today. Wait, the lint roller or the bathrooms? Because I would hope bathrooms happen to you today, or rather that you happen to bathrooms. That's just healthy. That's just necessary. The lint rollers, yeah. See, I have one at work, and I could see it. I could see it. I mean, I have cats, and they get a lot of cat hair all over me. But I don't have cats at work, and I'll lint roll, and then I'll sit down, and I'll be like, oh, God, there's more lint all over me. Also, what is lint? Like, outside of your clothes, what is it? You never see lint just floating around. We might need to investigate that further, but I haven't had enough alcohol for that yet. May have been getting into my dog-infested car. You have an infestation of dogs in your car? Hell yeah. That would be the littest Uber ever. Imagine just getting into some Uber and it's just filled with dogs. Arrow, hi! Welcome, everybody! Hello, everybody. Guys, can we get a shout out for Arrow, please? Welcome, Bubble Buds. Welcome to the truth. Welcome to your awakening. My name is Malicandre, the Dark Elf, the Web Mother. And today, I'm diving into the industry's biggest and most dark secrets that you never would have even thought about, right? We've already dived into the fact that Dr. Phil's hair, or his baldness, is not real, okay? It's fake. He's wearing a fake bald cap so he won't be recognized in society, okay? We found out that toothbrushes don't actually do a good job of cleaning your teeth, and that's how dentists want it, okay? We found out that the moon, not real. Absolute fake. Now, there's a couple different theories as to why. What else, guys? What else? Era, how's your stream? Are you enjoying Last of Us 1? I guess it's just Last of Us, right? Because it was the first one. It is ironic that they made a second game also called The Last of Us. You'd think they would give it a second name because it's no longer The Last. Oh my gosh, there's so many of you. I'm not caught up in chat. I'm so sorry. I went off on a rambling tirade about conspiracy theories. Don't worry, it's gonna get weirder. I've saved the weirdest for last. Oh, and genders. Genders are made up by the bathroom companies to sell more bathrooms. That's also one that you might have missed. But it's very important. Remember that the next time you go use a bathroom. Pretty scary. That game does seem scary. Like, that game seems scary in also just like a realistic sense. Like a lot of professionals and scientists and doctors and stuff have said that if there is going to be a zombie outbreak, it would most likely be fungal, meaning that story is like the closest to what's probably going to happen to us, and that scares me. I don't want to be a mushroom. Mushrooms are cool and all, but like, I don't want to be one. Spores are icky. I'm glad they exist. I just don't want them existing inside of me or around me. You want to be a mushroom? Why? What's your mushroom motivation? I need to know, like, mushrooms are cool. I do love mushrooms. They can taste really good. They can be really fun. They're really cute. They're great for the environment. I think they're really cool to study. But, I don't know if I want to be one. Well, you know what? Right now, in the current situation of life, I guess I wouldn't mind being a mushroom. I wouldn't have to pay bills. You know, I wouldn't know what car insurance is. Maybe a mushroom would be alright. Motivation. Besides, brains themselves, they are just fungus that scientists study because they act like a massive nervous system. That's kind of true. I do think it's fascinating how large mushrooms can get. Like, when they actually dig them up and find out that they're like the size of like 10 baseball fields, and you're like, what the fuck? That's too big. That's too big for any one entity to be. You know, like, I don't like big things. It makes me feel very small and scared for my life. So to just know that that kind of stuff is growing underneath us spooks. It spooks me. Need a mushroom hat? We all need a mushroom hat, man. I want to look like Toad. I just want to have a giant mushroom head. It'd be so cool. You know what? I would never be bothered by anyone again. You walk around with a mushroom hat, no one's going to be like, hey, can I have $1? They could be like, don't fucking talk to that person. They're half mushroom. If I am a mushroom, I could be the hat for a very small frog. Oh, that would be adorable. Yeah, I didn't even think about all the friendly little cute critters you'd get to interact with. But then again, you'd also probably get eaten. I don't know if I'd want to get eaten. I guess depends on what kind of mushroom I am. Am I gonna be like a fun mushroom? Like, are college kids gonna try and eat me? Or am I just gonna be like vibing in a swamp? Okay, so this one does, I said some of them were gonna kind of dip their toe into politics. This one is one of them. We're not gonna discuss politics, but I do think this is really important for us to address. So egg prices are being artificially inflated. And it's not so that we can't have eggs, right? No, it's so that we can't have eggs, so we can't throw them at people who are deserving of a good egging, right? Keep the eggs out of the hands of the people. They're trying to silence us. They're trying to keep us eggless. What is the price of a guitar and feather? I don't know. I haven't seen feathers in a minute. This one's definitely getting my stamp of approval, mostly just because I'm mad about eggs. I'm really mad. I want more eggs. I don't want them to be so expensive. I just made my first jar of pickled eggs this weekend. I'm gonna try them after the stream. I know I'm normally supposed to let them sit for a while longer, but not all of mine cooked all the way. So I was told that I have to eat them within within the first 5 days. So I'm gonna try them, and if they're good, I'll share the recipe with you guys. I've never had a pickled egg before, but I like eggs, so I'm down to try it. I just figured it would be a good skill to have, to learn how to pickle them. Pickle them eggs. I gotta give credit to you, Sereni. I never would have even attempted pickling or canning until you said that you do it, and I was very curious and inspired. So I've been giving it a try. I've been dipping my toe in. Been making some jam here and there. Also made some bread this week. I think for everybody in the Discord, I posted a Breadly update. I know you're dying to know how the bread is. It's good. It's doing well. He's all hungry right now. I didn't feed him yesterday, and I was supposed to. Oh, whoops. I'm a negligent parent. Okay. Oh, wait, hold on. We did this one already. Okay, here's another one. Here's a good one. Pyramids were built as a "you are here" sign to help orient people in the desert. I vibe with this one. I use landmarks a lot to figure out where the fuck I am and where I'm going, and it would be even worse in a desert because you're like, there's just sand everywhere. How do you orient yourself? How do you know where you are? This makes sense. This one also gets my stamp of approval. Don't mind me accidentally typing in chat because I'm not paying attention. There we go. Okay. Anti-vaxxers are just scared of needles, but they don't want to admit it. I'm also scared of needles. I don't like them. So I'll say that one's probably true. I don't know. Mic drop. End the stream there. We're done. Everybody knows what they need to know. I don't know. I just think this one was really funny. I had to include it. I like the conspiracy theories where you're like, that's just really funny. Okay. Tinder was invented by the US military. Tinder is literally a project designed by the US military to break women down to the point where they just need to say fuck it and marry a random army dude after 2 weeks so that they never have to receive a what are you doing text. As someone who has done online dating, absolutely accurate. It's the worst. It broke my spirit. I hated it. Don't do it. Don't do it. There's better ways to meet people. You can still meet people on the internet, but don't use Tinder. Don't give in to their plans. That's what they want. This theory doesn't really dive into why they want people to be married. I don't know what the motivation behind that is, but I'm curious. It's an interesting one. I think this one's thinking out of the box a little bit. Yeah, we don't have enough app-related conspiracy theories. I mean, we had the whole, like, TikTok one, and there's a whole section of TikTok dedicated to conspiracy theories, but, like, you know, nobody's, like, breaking down theories about dating sites like this. I love it. I need more of it. What's next? Restaurants show you what they want you to see. You see what the restaurants want you to see. Tudor Cinema Club is really onto something here. They say, you know those restaurants with open kitchens where you see the chef flipping pizzas, flipping pizza dough or tossing something into a flaming wok? What you've witnessed is carefully choreographed lies. They're all paid actors tossing the same piece of dough, setting fire to just oil in the wok, just to lull you into a false sense of comfort. You sometimes even fool yourself into thinking that you can see them making your order, but in fact, it's being made it's being made off-site in a factory, frozen and then microwaved and brought back to you. I have to agree with Sandman here. This one seems half true. It kind of depends on what restaurant you're at. I don't think restaurants do this with the individual. Like, if you see somebody cooking your food, they're probably cooking your food. But if you go to a mass chain where you're not seeing people cook your food, then yeah, it's definitely not real. I don't have a brain to have the ability to feel romantic attraction to anyone. Dude, lucky you. It's awful. It plays into people's emotions too much. It's a weakness. Don't do it. Don't give in. Don't let big cinema and big Hallmark try to pressure you into finding something that you don't need. Yeah, move on. Your life will be better for it. This one really caught my eye. I think you guys might agree with me on this one. Because this is a damn good theory, and I think it's relevant now more than ever with the whole Shrek release that I'm sure you guys have seen the backlash to the Shrek trailer. Sonic the Hedgehog was deliberately shown to be a Lovecraftian horror in order to gain a large amount of positive hype when they quote-unquote changed the CGI. So they're saying that he never looked like... They never even made the whole movie. They just made the scenes that they wanted us to see of him being this creepy little rat demon thing. But in reality, the whole movie, the whole time, he was made up to look like the iconic, individual Sonic that we know and love. And this was just their way of generating hype by making us, the general public, think that we bullied the studio into doing what we want. You've been saying this the whole time? ENvtuber knows. ENvtuber's with it. You're ahead of the times. Your streets ahead, as they say. And if you're not streets ahead, you're streets behind. And I gotta say, I was behind on this one. It does seem like some meta marketing. Like, now that, the online marketing has developed for the last, 20 years or so? That's probably a little longer, actually. 25 years? 30 years, maybe, that people have started really doing online marketing. I think the biggest one that people can think of in, I think this was either the late 90s or the early 2000s, was the Blair Witch Project, right? Where these news articles were circulating about these missing campers, and then we find out that the whole thing was really just a marketing ploy using this new phenomenon known as the internet to try and drum up some business, to try and drum up some hype, because then people didn't know, like, is this movie an actual documentary? Is this real? Is this not real? What's going on? And ever since then, I think marketing and advertisement has been morphing and changing, and it's becoming more methodical, and I could totally see this being a thing. I mean, marketing teams employ psychologists, right? There's an actual science behind what does your brain find appealing, what are you going to be drawn to, and anything that you directly feel like you have a tie to, like if you feel like you directly influenced a movie to be the way you wanted it to be, you're a lot more likely to be invested in that movie. You're going to go see it. You're going to talk about it. Congratulations, you're free advertisement now. There you go. Thank you so much for the head pats. Oh, I don't even know. Do I even have my trigger fire on right now? It's been showing up at the weirdest times, and it's been giant for no reason. So if the hand shows up to give me a head pat, cool. But if not, I'll just I'll return your points too. Hold on. Let me figure out how to do that real quick. I hate that it's been so laggy. I don't like withholding channel points from people. Those were hard-earned points, and you deserve them. I gotta figure out why it's not working, because it's been bugging me for a minute now. Let's see. Where's the little... Hold on. I'm going down a rabbit hole. I gotta figure out how to fix this. What? Ooh, thank you for the hydrate. I have not been hydrating. Okay. Tooth of Nightmare, I've returned your channel points to you. I'm sorry that the head pad didn't work. It's okay. It would probably just hurt the giant floating hand anyways because of the tinfoil hat. And frankly, I would mind it going medicine. Thank you for the dehydrate. I'm gonna do that anyways. For everybody just joining, I am drinking it's called a mangosteen flavored soju. It's 14% alcohol. It's imported. It's called Good Friends, which is what I'm doing. I'm sharing it with good friends. I'm sorry. I don't know. Trigger Fire used to work perfectly, and then suddenly my channel point redeems just broke, and I have been too lazy to figure out how to fix it. Listen, I've been busy. I've been on the run from Big Dairy for the last few weeks. I haven't had time to sit down and figure out how to fix my channel points because I've been trying to avoid the cows. They've been everywhere and they've been creepy. Okay. What's next? What do we got next? Ooh, this was a good one. Okay, nobody actually wins the lottery. States just use it for fundraising, put out enough winning tickets for a small amount, like 200 and under, to convince people that it's real, but nobody actually wins the big advertised payouts. Now, every now and then you'll catch somebody posing with a giant check, but we don't know if that's a real person. Do you know anyone personally who has won more than like $1,000 from the lottery? Do you? I don't. I think the most I've ever seen anybody win in any sort of giveaway was like $500. You do? You have? Can I have their name and address and phone number? For reasons? You think this one's AI? You think it was written by AI? Maybe. I don't know. Could be. It's hard to tell sometimes these days. But if they're out here on low stakes conspiracy theories just posting garbage, I'm kind of here for it. Listen, I don't love AI, but I don't hate it either. And if this is what it's going to contribute, I'm glad that it's something absurd enough that it's not going to hurt anybody. Your cousin won $10,000? Good for them. Oh my God. I don't believe it, but I'm happy for them. Oh gosh, ignore that. No, that's not the next upcoming event. Ah, whoops. Nightbot, you crazy. I should fix that. I've obviously been out for the last 2 weeks, so I've not been keeping up with updating things on stream. I'm a shitty streamer. I've been busy. The frogs were always gay. Nobody put anything in the water to make them gay. If anything, they put stuff in the water to make the frogs straight. They've been posting AI-generated images all along to make the lottery seem real. I'd believe it. I've been really disappointed with how many companies have been using AI in digital marketing. They have more than enough money. They can be hiring artists. If we're gonna use AI, and I do think there's probably a responsible way to do so, it's not by taking creativity out of the hands of people, okay? You need to take the boring stuff off of our hands. Go have it write spreadsheets. Go have it analyze data. Go have it check me out at the supermarket and, touch my fingers intentionally. That's what AI should be used for. Frogs are certified gays in the water. Maybe they're making the water gay, and that's what's getting to the rest of us. I'm here for it. I'll drink more water right now. Bring it on. I love gay frogs. I do really like making spreadsheets. I really do. But I have used AI to make them better, and it helps a lot. It really does. I appreciate it. What if mythical creatures were always real? Okay. Wailing One makes a really good point here, and I'm on board with this. And what if mythical creatures were real, but we drove them extinct through hunting, natural disasters, or disease? We already have animals with electric potential, right? Flying squirrels, color-changing birds, and lizards. Perhaps we eliminated those creatures because they were seen as dangerous, or they perished due to droughts and wildfire. I could see this one being true. I could absolutely see. I mean, for the longest time, people thought the giant squid was a myth, and then they saw it. They saw the giant squid, and they were like, "Oh shit, that's a real fucking creature." Why, I'll never go in the ocean, but it's possible. We've seen enough depictions throughout time of, creatures of all different sorts existing, and then we find out they're real, or they were real. I mean, unicorns seem pretty real to me. Do they exist now? Probably not, but if we can have rhinos running around, I don't see why we couldn't have unicorns, I want a pet dragon. Me too, man. Dude, you know how it would be so cool to have a fucking pet dragon. I guess technically at that point we would be its pet. If it let us live, we would be its pet. Here's a hydration reminder, everybody. Don't forget to drink some water. This one kind of falls in line with the same thing, okay? Vampires are real. And they've been spreading misinformation the whole time. Okay? Throughout popular culture, vampires have always been killed by being stabbed in the heart. But actually, they both take life and lose life via the neck. They've spread false information so that everybody, targets the wrong spot. This one specifically fits in low stakes conspiracy theories. I think it's genius. I think it's very on point. We have no proof that vampires don't exist. So, in my opinion, 100% real. I believe it. Is that the way to kill them? I don't know. More research needs to be done, but I think it's a valid point that people need to be talking about. Now, in a completely different vein, this one's about zombies. This one's from Life Exchange 7188. Zombie films are a marketing ploy to promote cremation. Again, what have I said, guys? Follow the money. It's always about the money. As the population of the planet continued to grow, cemeteries were running out of space to bury the dead. So the solution was needed to sway people towards different methods of body disposal. It makes sense. There's not enough room for all of us. We'll get to the rest of that one later. In the late 1960s, the cremation industry secretly launched a clever way to promote the idea of burying intact bodies. Or they planted the idea that burying an intact body was a bad thing to do. So the trope of the dead rising from the grave to cause havoc and great mischief was created. It seems to have worked since the first zombie films were released. Cremation has become a more and more popular result, and we're not stuffing our graveyards. I could see it happening. I think graveyards are a bad idea to begin with. If you're gonna be put in the earth, I think you should do so in a more natural form, so you can at least get back to the earth. There's supposed to be a cycle of living and dying and decay that helps to create new life, and we're, for the most part, burying is really environmentally irresponsible. But we're also just running out of space. So this one gets my stamp of approval. I don't know what Big Cremation is up to, but they can't be trusted. That's what we're learning. Werewolves faked the whole silver thing so peasants can't afford to kill them. It's me. I'm peasants. I do want to be stuck in the ground. I want to be dirt in a box. What? Which one do you want to be? I hate the idea of being buried. It unnerves me. I also hate the idea of being set on fire. So I'm really, you know what? When that day comes, it's not my problem. It's not my problem anymore. Okay. This one gave me a good laugh. Taylor Swift signed her Kamala endorsement with Childless Cat Lady, so that if you Googled Taylor Swift cats, her role in the 2019 film Cats would no longer be the top result. I love this theory. I don't know if it's true, but I do love it. I do love it. And the next one's pretty similar. You guys may have heard this one. Disney created the movie Frozen so that when people searched Walt Disney Frozen, it would return results for the movie instead of the animator. If you guys don't know, there's been a long-standing theory that Walt Disney was cryogenically frozen and allegedly buried under the park underneath his statue. Don't know if that's true. No judgment if it is. The guy created an entire industry that will never die. Let him do what he wants. But the fact that this is so detrimental to their image that they created a whole movie and now a whole franchise in and of itself just to cover it up seems pretty extreme. Not out of the realm of possibility, but definitely extreme. They did the same thing in Fallout. What? When? What? Cryogenically freezing people? Yeah, that's a thing. People do that. Also, hi, Sister Morgan. Hi, Ophelia. Hi. I'm shy. I'm hiding behind my Reddit posts. Sorry that I didn't have tinfoil hats to hand out to you guys. I ran out of tinfoil covering my giant forehead. Hi, how's your day been? I've been a bad host. I haven't asked anybody how their day is going. I just jumped right into the unhinged madness. I couldn't wait. There was too much that needed to be discussed. Speaking of which, hold on. Yeah. Okay. What's the next one that we got? Okay, here we're moving on to some more extreme theories. Okay, these ones are pretty out there, so please bear with me. Some of them might upset you, and that's okay. Some of them may inspire you, and that's okay. Just remember that none of the things here that have been stated are my opinion or the opinions of elves in general, or even anybody in the stream. These were just things that really made me laugh. And I wanted to share them with you. So if you're watching from this point on, it means that you are consenting to a good laugh with me, and you're not going to hold it against me. My day was actually kind of ass, so I just fell asleep after work. Oh, I'm so sorry. I hate those days. You want forehead kiss? I don't know if it'll make it any better. Hopefully some of the crazy shit I'm about to see will make it a little bit better. I almost said good night, but I mean, I do hope you have a good night, even though you're hopefully not going to bed yet. But I do hope it's a good night. Now, these are scientific facts. Maybe. The one about the frogs being gay definitely is. Definitely. Okay. Does anybody need to get up and stretch before we get into the weird stuff? We're diving in. Okay. Elf on a Shelf was created by the government to make younger generations desensitized to being constantly watched. This is an extreme theory, and I'm fully on board with it. Absolutely. Absolutely, that's what's going on. They're just trying to desensitize the little ones to constant monitoring, to an authoritarian, presence that judges. So that's true. Santa did do it first, but I think Santa, the whole theory of Santa kind of started to die out, right? Like kids were catching on to it, and they thought, I don't see him, so he must not see me. You know, like kids have object permanence issues anyway, so they kind of forget that Santa exists. But if you put that elf out, they're like, oh shit, I better behave. You know? And then, next thing you know, bam, police state. The aviation industry. This one's a good one. This is from Lucifer 10/20/0225. What a name. Want to know how they came up with it. Anyways, the aviation industry lobbies against teleportation technology. We have all heard about oil companies using their massive wealth to lobby against research and investment into renewable and clean energies. I believe that the aviation industry does the same thing, but rather than with clean energy, they're trying to prevent research from looking into teleportation technology and making it viable to travel, to make it a travel option. The shipping industry would also be involved, though I'm not too sure. This one, it's interesting. He also follows up by saying, they follow up by saying, it's one thing to get to a destination slightly faster thanks to better, quicker planes, but to get there instantly would destroy all of their profits. It's not just plane tickets, it's baggage prices, it's airports, it's rental costs. All of those would disappear. I gotta say, I could see it. I could see it. We've seen large companies and industries lobbying against things. Could happen. I grew up in a Spanish household. I'm already used to being constantly watched. Yeah? Yeah, you know, the chancla's just there waiting for you. I've been meaning to get the chancla out. Lampy made a chancla asset, and I haven't used it enough, and I feel like you guys might need some reminding. Okay, more water. I'm slurping on too much soju. It's so good. I'm gonna say I agree with this one. Seems legit. Why not? Also, I just really hope that... Now, I had to split this one up, so... Hold on. It's a long one. Bear with me. Okay. JD McWombat, 11 years ago, posted, "My chemistry teacher has this dinosaur theory." You'll see why I quote it, but it's pretty elaborate. I'm giving it my own creative spin, as well as the original details. Humans have lived for only a fraction of a million years, and we've come very far in that time. Sending a man to the moon, splitting atoms, television, Vtubers, in a pretty short span. Dinosaurs, however, had millions of years to live on the Earth. Logic would dictate that they would have gotten much further than humans have. But why did they all die? They didn't. The dinosaurs knew what was coming and what was going to happen to Earth. So they got in their spaceships and they flew to a different undisclosed planet. Why didn't they come back? They did. You've read mythology of medieval times, right? Chinese mythology, different civilizations all around the span of a few centuries all had dragon myths, right? We talked about this previously, that mythical creatures are real. They're not made up. They're not fantasy creatures. The dinosaurs returned to Earth, striking fear into people who had not the weapons to kill it. But they left. Why? The dinosaurs left Earth again because it was too cold. As cold-blooded creatures, the dinosaurs could not live on Earth at the time, so the dinosaurs were done with Earth. For now, right? Wrong. I told you guys, this one gets weird. They are preparing the planet right now for their return. Oh my god. I'm tweaking out over here, sorry. So they're preparing the planet for their return. After millions of years underground, we found fuel sources from the extinct plants that suit our needs in terms of technology. But what are the downsides? It's causing global warming. That's right. The dinosaurs are literally tricking us into preparing a nice toasty planet for them. We have other fuel sources, though, one might say. Soon, solar, wind, nuclear energy will all make fossil fuels obsolete. Won't happen under their watch. But why, you might ask? This guy's asking a lot of questions, and I think they're the right questions to be asking. The dinosaurs also control the media. This is ridiculous, is what you're thinking. You know, if dinosaurs were in the media, what would be forgetting is that the dinosaurs are extremely advanced. They have disguising technology to make them appear human. This is not only for the fossil fuel industry, however. The dinosaurs work with all sorts of media. Have you seen Jurassic Park 2? The one girl is nice to the dinosaur and feeds it. The dinosaur is friendly and means no harm. Later, that same dinosaur is attacked by a man and is killed by it. The dinosaurs want us to obey them. They want you to fear them, or they don't want you to fear them. Think about how children's shows and movies always depict dinosaurs. Right? Barney, Land Before Time, Dinosaur. I've never seen that one, so I don't know. But the list is endless. The brainwashing is not only in the children's stuff. Look at the Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim. It's filled with them. There are friendly dragons like Parthenax. However, by nature, they rule. You don't have shouts, you don't have magic. But when the dinosaurs come back, you will submit to them. The dinosaurs will come back and we will obey. I know it's a long one. It's very long-winded and I butchered my way through it. But I think it is worth discussing, or at least just thinking on. You know, even just for a little while. Because we don't want to be unprepared if and or when they do come back. And we don't know. So I can't put my stamp of approval on this because I really have no way of knowing at this point. But I would like you guys to weigh in. What do you guys think? I know that recently there was a very similar Rick and Morty episode that kind of worked with the same presence, which makes me think the dinosaurs have seen this post since they are in control of media, and they are now trying to downplay it or like make satire about it so that we just kind of forget about it. You know, we think it's trivial, that sort of a thing. I don't know. I could see it happening. Dinosaurs, you know, they're those are alpha predators right there. I would be afraid of them. I would serve them. I, for one, welcome our new dinosaur overlords. This one hit too close to home for me. Jar companies tighten their jars slightly more than the average woman's grip strength to maintain the patriarchy. I am awful at opening jars. I struggle with it all the time. I'm constantly bugging Easkerman to open jars for me. And at this point, I no longer even ask. I just walk up and hold out a jar and yell, "Patriarchy!" And then he just opens it for me. So I've kind of Pavloved him a bit on that. But I agree with this one. Has the Mally seal of approval. Jar companies, get your shit together. Or else. Next. Oh, Eldaver, good night. Thank you so much. Thank you for staying up late. I'm so sorry. I got a 4 a.m. start. You want a good night kiss? Oh, I see. Of course you do. Everybody wants a good night kiss. Get in here. Get in here. Mwah! Good night. Sweet dreams. Don't let the dairy industry get you. Stay safe. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. I appreciate having you here. You always bring a smile to my face. As a man, I believe this, and I am tired of opening jars. See? It affects all of us. We're all affected by it. It's not just the women. It's not just the children. It's everyone. Who are they willing to hurt next? Okay. Okay, Insect 4778 said, "Wind isn't real. It's just ghosts." What we observe as wind is actually the air being disturbed by ghosts. This is why wind has been getting increasingly more severe over time, and it's why it's common on roads and graveyards and abandoned haunted locations. More people dying means more ghosts pushing around air. Car accidents means that ghosts are bound to the road, and the places that naturally have a lot of ghosts also have strong winds. Wind is stronger at night? Ghosts are known to come out in the darkness. Hurricanes, tornadoes, storms like that? Yep. That's a cyclone made of ghosts. It's made of people who drowned in the sea. And they get worse because anyone who dies in a tornado will be pulled into the next one. What I love about this one is that it also implies that all wind turbine energy is ghost powered. And I love that. I love that so much. It's just great. Name one time you've been in a graveyard and there was no wind. I can't. I've been in a graveyard several times, probably at least 4 or 5, and always windy, always filled with ghosts. And the thing is, like, the more people that die, the more ghosts there's gonna be. The stronger the wind is gonna get. What I want to know is, what's their goal? Do they know? Are they aware? Because, like, ethically speaking, I don't think we should be using wind turbine energy if it is ghosts. Okay, that seems incredibly insensitive to their spirits. You know, they're dead. Let them rest. Give them a break. They've worked hard enough. Like, they're just duping around doing ghost shit, and we're trying to monopolize on that? I don't think so. This one gets my stamp of approval. But now I'm anti-wind energy, so let's not disrupt the ghosts. Let's see, we looked at that one. This one got me good. Luigi is too good looking to be a normal guy. He's clearly a brainwashed male model made to assassinate CEOs. But why male models? Are you serious? I just don't. For those of you who have not seen Zoolander, that this is making fun of that. Zoolander, the entire premise is that male models are too stupid, and therefore they are essentially sleeper agents made for high-end assassinations. And I just loved that, 20 years after that movie came out, someone was like, this is the situation that would be most applicable to referencing that movie. 100%. Also, free my boy Luigi. He innocent. Okay, this one makes sense. Experts tell you to not look at screens before bed because it messes up your circadian rhythm. But they're just lying so that they can enjoy unfettered, high-speed internet connections at bedtime. They want the internet to themselves. Okay? That's why we shouldn't listen. Use your phone whenever you goddamn please. Don't let the experts tell you when you can and can't be using their precious internet. Fully on board with this one. They don't want us. They don't want us using the internet. Selfish. Okay. I gotta move this one over a little bit. So, PETA is a false flag operation by the meat industry to make vegans look insane. The posts PETA makes are usually ridiculous and either have shitposting or fetish energy. I don't think anyone has ever actually been convinced. I cut most of this one off. As I recall, it was pretty long. I could see it. It's PETA's pretty out there and ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. I totally agree with their statements. I think animals have rights, and I don't know whether or not animals have souls, but they are sentient beings, and I don't think any sentient being deserves pain unless it has caused immense pain to others. Specifically to innocents. So, don't. I'm just saying. I don't think we should be eating animals, but I also think PETA might be taking it a little too far. I don't know. What do you guys think about this one? Is anybody here involved in PETA? I don't know anybody personally who's ever been involved in PETA. I would have some questions if you are. I've heard so many rumors about them. I don't know why, of all organizations, they have as many rumors as they do. There's a lot of conspiracies floating around about them, which means you gotta be up to something, right? Okay, big light hate is caused by modern low ceilings, driving trends of cozy ambient light to forget how poor we are. That's right. Big light is truly the hate that's being driven for big light is just to keep us oppressed. I also hate big light. I've never been a fan of it, so this one worked on me. I like a nice low lit room to feel more cozy, but I do have low ceilings, so that could be it. I don't know. I no longer know what's real and what's fake. The richest 0.001% have a group chat where they challenge each other to do very stupid things in public. I love this one. I don't think it's real, but I want it to be real because it's fucking hysterical. I think that they probably have other much more devious things going on in that group chat, but I would like to believe that it's just goofy dares and it would explain some things. This one's interesting. This is a heated one, I think. Well, it could be. We're gonna discuss it, okay? Some unknown entity uses time manipulation so that people who could expose them are too tired to actually do so. I'm gonna get some water because this one's weird. Okay. Some unknown entity or entities, aliens or some global shadow government or something, uses time manipulation on some people so that so you do something, you look at your clock, it's 8 p.m. 15 minutes later and it's already 3 a.m. You go to sleep and after an hour of being asleep it's already 7 a.m. Since this doesn't happen to everybody, definitely it's some time manipulation targeting specific people. If I'd be well rested and had more free time, I would definitely find out who's doing that and expose them for their definitely nefarious deeds, so they continue attacking me with time manipulation again and again. And the comment just says, honestly, this just sounds like you have a serious medical problem. I think this one's a combination of this person probably has some ADHD and sleep apnea that is making their realization of time a little messed up, but I'm not opposed to believing that there is some sort of unknown entity that can control time. It seems feasible. Perhaps that's where all of the secrets from the Mayans originated from, is that these entities have imparted their knowledge of time manipulation to the Mayans, and hence the Mayan calendar said that the world would end in 2012, and that was actually when our timeline just divided. I don't know. There's a lot to unpack here. But I wanted to make sure this information was in your hands so you can do with it as you see fit. But I'm on board. The sleep demons are real and they want you sleepy. Okay, this I think might be my favorite. And I think this is the last one. Minimalism was invented by Big Small to sell more less. Read that one again, okay? Minimalism was invented by Big Small to sell more less. It's all fallen into place. It's all making sense. That big minimalism is a lie. It's a sham. Buy more stuff. Follow the money. Always follow the money. Okay, yeah, that's all of them that I have. At least from that particular website. I was considering spending some time maybe making some of our own. I've written down some theories that I think could be real. Okay, my first one is involving the Vtuber community. And please, nobody roast me for this shit. I'm just asking questions, right? I'm just throwing out ideas and we're gonna see what sticks, if any of it. My first one is that I think the Vtuber known as Iron Mouse might be an actual mouse pretending to be a woman, pretending to be an anime girl. That's my theory at the moment. I have no evidence to back it up. If anyone does have any evidence to back this up, please contact me immediately. I have another one also involving the VTuber industry. For those of you who are familiar with Gargura and her evil counterpart, Evilgura, I think Evilgura might actually be a separate person entirely. Because I don't think that much chaotic energy can exist in a form that tiny. It would be the end of the universe as we know it. Can't happen. It's got to be two people. My next one is about Cartoon Network. You guys remember Cartoon Network? Yeah. Cartoon Network didn't die. Okay, it was never shut down. It just went into hiding. But for what reason? We don't know. We might never know. But I think it's one of those questions that we need to ask. Okay. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Philadelphia mascot known as Gritty. He, I think, appeared in 2017 or something. He's got crazy eyes. I think Gritty might be an alien. I don't think he's a mascot. I think he's an actual alien. I think he's a huge fan of sports. And I think that he is just here to vibe. Or she, they, I don't know. What else we got here? Oh, okay, this one might be a little too deep. But Mr. Rogers, Bob Ross, other certain public figures who are notoriously wholesome were actually government experiments to try and make the population nicer. Now, I don't know if they were trying to weaponize friendliness and neighborly behavior rather, or if they were just seeing if it would work. But I think that might be a thing that we should look into. Let's see. I have a few others on here that made the list. They were pretty weird. Drum circles are just coded messages. Okay. Every NPC in every video game is actually watching you. Game tutorials exist to condition obedient behavior. What else doing that? Live 2D software isn't software, it's containment. And the algorithm is always watching you. I don't know if that one's really a theory or just a fact, but there we go. That's what we got. I want to hear from you guys though. What are some theories that you guys have been sitting on that either people don't believe or that you think people should believe? Ones that you've been stewing on. Or Iron Mouse is the alternate personality of Connor. Could be. I don't know if that's the case. He disguises his voice really well. It's discovered time travel and it went into hiding. Ooh. Like a reverse Ratatouille. Exactly. You get it. You get it. I've been trying to dig a little deeper into some maybe YouTuber and VTuber conspiracy theories, but it was a little hard. They've hidden them really well. They'll have really good marketing to help try and cover up their secrets. I should probably wrap up here soon before we've been gone for like 2 hours, and I know that Big Dairy is most certainly watching because they're always watching. They're always watching us, and I will not be silenced any further. And I hope that now, with the information you've been equipped with, you are not silenced either. Go forth, spiderlings, and inform the world of our truly unhinged beliefs. I'm gonna wrap up. I think we're gonna go raid Lampy, because I'm sure he would love to hear what you guys learned from today's stream. And I love spamming. Let me see if, okay, hold on. Here we go. Here are our raid rules. You guys know them. You guys love them. Be nice, be friendly, be supportive, give lots of compliments. I believe today Lampy is doing a drawing stream. So make sure you ask him lots of questions about what he doing and why he doing it. Let's see, 1 second, let me open this up. I plan on being live again on Thursday. We'll see if that actually works out. I will watch the Art Bell video. Don't rabbit hole too hard. Okay. I'll just watch it directly before going to bed and see what happens. I can't have that weird of dreams, right? It'll be fine. Well, before I forget, I do want to thank everybody who followed while we were offline over this past week. Nocturnal Bunny Boy and Donut Vtuber. Thank you so much for the follow. Thank you for the support. Thank you for helping us reach our goal of 670. And here we go, on to 680. The web is ever growing. And I thank you all for your support this whole time. And we gotta start brainstorming about how to celebrate 700 when it eventually creeps up on us. Genuinely though, like I've been gone for the past week because I had a friend in town and I wanted to spend some time with them. Thank you guys for being chill about me being gone for a week. I hope you guys enjoyed the VODs that I posted on YouTube. I pre-recorded, there's 2 of them and they're both fairly long. I think they're each like 3 or 4 hours a piece. But I played Cyberpunk for you guys and it's over on the YouTube. Let me see if I can post the... So if you're ever bored and you want some craziness in the background, there you go. Oh shit, Lampy just got a raid, so we're gonna give him a second before we raid in and spook him too much. He gets flustered. Fluttered? If your moth, is it fluttered or flustered? Yeah, I'm gonna try and be live again on Thursday. If that doesn't happen, then I'll be live when I'm live, probably again next Tuesday. Thank you guys for being patient with me. Thank you for hanging out. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, whether I see you on Thursday or later. I love you guys a lot. You mean a lot to me. Good night. Oh no! That's the wrong clip! My bad, ignore it!